I finished reading volume 2 of Run Wild. I had already read volume 1 back in January. This story was one that I had initially put off because I wasn't sure how much I would like it. I did see other creators talking about Run Wild on TikTok and on Instagram, which is what gave me the final push to add it to my planned reads, and I'm glad that I did. I really enjoyed both volumes 1 and 2. I also like Jung Chung as a character. Yes, he does share the same name as Jung Chung from MDZS. Going into this story, you know that Jung Chung's adoptive parents are sending him away to live with his biological father in a desolate northern town. The back of the first volume tells you that. What I wasn't expecting was for Jung Chung's adoptive parents to break the news to Jung Chung that he was adopted right before sending him away. And all things considered, I think he's taking things pretty well. He does have his moments where he cries and is angry and things feel overwhelming for him. There was a part in the first volume where he meets his older siblings for the first time for a family dinner, and it ends up ending in a fight. And Jung Chung, feeling overwhelmed, ends up locking himself in his room, and soon after that ends up breaking the window to get out, to get away from the situation. But overall, he's just trying his best to deal with the situation that he was thrown into. Jung Chung's biological father is a loud, alcoholic gambler who has no problems with Jung Chung paying off his debts. And if I remember correctly, he even took money from Jung Chung's wallet at one point. Jung Chung, for the most part, does try to avoid him, but things do end up coming to a head where in the second volume, Jung Chung ends up moving out after getting into a fight with his biological father. But Jung Jung's not completely alone. He still has contact with his friend Panji, who does visit him when he first moves to his new town and does plan to visit him later on. But he also meets Gumiao when he first gets there, and through her, he meets her older brother Gufei. From reading volumes 1 and 2, I really like Gumiao, and so does Jung Chung. He thinks that she's cool and has style, and Gumiao also seems to like Jung Chung, which makes sense considering that they met when Jung Chung helped her when she was being attacked by a group of girls. I also like Gufei, and I like seeing how Jung Chung and Gufei's relationship develops from people who keep meeting by chance to friends and heading into the direction of them being more. Some of my favorite moments are when they are being vulnerable with each other. Jung Chung tells Gufei about finding out that he was adopted and being sent away. Gufei opens up to Jung Chung about his abusive father and his childhood. It was also nice seeing them trying to be comforting to each other despite not being very good at it. The other characters are pretty good too. It's constantly being brought up that Jung Chung is an overachiever, and he definitely lives up to that as he ends up being first in their grade after the midterms. Jung Chung also doesn't care that people want to cheat off of him. The basketball tournament that their school has was also entertaining to read. Gufei also is looking out for Jung Chung and is trying to keep him out of some of the chaos that happens in their town. During the basketball tournament, Jung Chung ends up getting into a conflict with a player from a different class who happens to be the cousin of a gang leader in the town named Monkey. And Monkey and Gufei have their own conflict, which was at a standstill up until this moment because Monkey ends up deciding to use the conflict with Jung Chung as a way to deal with his problems with Gufei. And Gufei tries to keep Jung Chung out of it. However, Jung Chung does find out, and Jung Chung ends up being upset with Gufei for trying to hide this from him. Overall, I really like this series so far. I'm reading volume 3 now, and we'll move on to volume 4 after that.